Hello everybody, Aaron Smith here with another episode of Forward Gettysburg. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I can't tell you all how much I appreciate all the support that's been coming to the channel so far. You guys keep watching. I'm going to keep making videos and we're going to learn more about the Battle of Gettysburg and the Gettysburg campaign together. Today is part 2 of the fight for McPherson's woods. Of course, we remember part 1. The Iron Brigade took positions in the woods, fought off an attack from Archer's brigade. They actually captured General Archer. And now there's a mid-afternoon lull around noon, 11:30 or so. I'm coming to you today from McPherson's woods. Directly behind the camera is the monument to the 24th Michigan. Directly behind me is the monument to the 26th North Carolina. These two regiments are going to engage in a hellacious fight, which we're going to get into here just a little bit later. So again, thank you so much for joining me. It's a beautiful fall day here at the Gettysburg National Military Park. The leaves are blooming, they're falling. It's a gorgeous time of year. It's actually Halloween. I don't buy into all the spooky ghost story stuff, but if you guys do, it's a great time to get out here and enjoy yourself here at Gettysburg. So without further ado, let's get into the action. Like I said, there's an afternoon pause right around noontime in the fighting. The Iron Brigade, they're going to move a little bit forward beyond Willoughby Run, which is going to be behind the North Carolina monument here. They're going to move a little bit forward in the fields, and then they're going to sense that another attack is coming. So they're going to fall back beyond Willoughby Run, and they're going to take up defensive positions here. Brigadier General Solomon Meredith, he's going to sense that impending attack and he's going to order them back. So the left of the line here is going to be the 24th Michigan. To their left is going to be the 19th Indiana. To their right is going to be the 7th Wisconsin. And just a little bit further back and almost like a reserve position is going to be the 2nd Wisconsin. Of course, we know the 2nd Wisconsin. They did a lot of the fighting in that first round and they will suffer heavy casualties. Divisional Commander General Heath for the Confederates of the 3rd Corps under A.P. Hill. He is going to be very upset over what he determines as a failure of the morning's attack to drive the Union from the field. So he is now plotting his second attack. In this part of the field, he's going to send forward Pettigrew's brigade of North Carolinians and Brockenbrow's brigade of Virginians. Pettigrew's brigade is going to be the largest brigade to see action at Gettysburg. We're talking somewhere in the ballpark of 2,400, 2,500 men. This is an enormous brigade. This is the size of some divisions that is in this brigade. The largest regiment within that brigade is going to be the 26th North Carolina under Colonel Henry Burgwin. Burgwin is going to be one of the youngest colonels commanding. He is going to be in his very early 20s, around 21 or so actually. And he's going to rise quickly through the ranks. He'll become known as kind of a hard ass, and his men aren't going to like him a whole lot at first. However, he's going to prove his mettle in battle. His harsh discipline is going to prove to his men that, yes, I may be a hard ass on you guys, but hey, when we get the battle, we're going to win and you guys are going to survive. So if you follow me, hey, we're going to have a pretty decent go of this thing. So his men come to respect him even at a young age. The 26th North Carolina, they're going to field somewhere around 850 men. Now, 850 men, to give you a comparison, again, we were talking about Pettigrew's brigade, which is the largest brigade that's going to see action at Gettysburg on either side. The 26th North Carolina is the largest regiment that's going to see action on either side. And 850 men, to compare that's one regiment. The Irish Brigade, which is going to see action on July 2nd in the wheat field. Of course, they're on the Union side, but the Irish Brigade at the time of Gettysburg is somewhere in the ballpark of 500 men. So we're talking a regiment that is almost twice as large as some Union brigades. This is a lot of men. And the 24th Michigan is going to feel that here very, very shortly. Pettigrew and Brockenbrough, they're going to step off of Hers Ridge there. That's where they're kind of line up. That's where they're going from line to column there, of course. They're going to step off. They're going to cross Willoughby Run. As soon as they cross Willoughby Run, they're going to face an uphill hike. When they start moving uphill, they're going to come under fire from the 24th Michigan. Within a matter of 10 minutes, the 26th North Carolina will lose 10 color bearers. That is insane. That is an incredible loss. In 10 minutes, they have 10 color bearers go down. The 24th Michigan, they're going to have about 496 men on the field. So they're outnumbered by about almost 2 to 1, give or take here. So they're going to face overwhelming numbers of Confederates pressing on this position, but they're going to hold their line. They're going to unleash a devastating fire upon the 26th North Carolina. Like I said, the 26th North Carolina, they will lose 10 color bearers in 10 minutes. But the rebels, they will continue to press their numerical advantage and continue to pressure the 24th Michigan. But the boys from Michigan, they're going to put up an incredible fight. They will put up a valiant stand here upon this high ground. And the interesting thing about Gettysburg, and the thing that I tell people all the time, is to really truly understand and appreciate this battle, you have to understand and appreciate the topography of the land. And yeah, you can look at maps, you can look at topographical maps, you can look at battle maps, but until you're out here and you see that, hey, this is an uphill battle here, you know, you can understand a little bit more about the fight that happened here. You know, when you look at McPherson's Woods on Google Maps, it just looks like a small little forest tree lot, but you don't truly appreciate the land here. This is undulating land on the eastern part of the forest, but of course as you move out a little bit further west and get to Willoughby Run, it starts to slope fairly significantly, and you might be able to make that out behind me. You can see some of the trees there rest a little bit lower. Of course, that's the little gully there where Willoughby Run is streaming through. So the 24th Michigan, they have the high ground. They're going to be able to put up a very, very good fight here and hold off these North Carolinians. But nonetheless, the North Carolinians, they're going to continue to press. Again, they have about 350 more men than the men from Michigan. So they're going to press their numerical advantage, and they're going to continue to drive forward here on these positions. And the Iron Brigade is really going to start to feel the pressure, not just from the 26th North Carolina, but from the rest of Pettigrew's brigade. And also they're going to be catching that far right flank of Brockenbraugh's brigade as well. The interesting thing about Brockenbrough is that a lot of people criticize his performance on day one. They also criticize his performance on day 3 as well during Pickett's charge. That's for another video, which would be really cool to get into, the 8th Ohio and Brockenbrough's brigade and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, a lot of people are going to give Brockenbrough a bad rap for his performance on day 1. But when you really get down in there, if you take the path back to the old McPherson Quarry, and to get there, you'd go to the 7th Wisconsin Monument. There's a small little trail there right behind the monument, and you take that trail all the way back and you follow that fence line that kind of runs there where the McPherson farm is. You'll come downhill, you'll see Willoughby Run, and then on your right hand side you'll see this large depression in the ground. Well, that was actually a Civil War era quarry where they would quarry a lot of limestone and different stuff in order to build the houses in Gettysburg. But when you look at that quarry, you'll see that it's a fairly deep depression in the ground. And Brockenbrough's men, they're going to have to maneuver their way around that. And so they're going to have to figure out how to go from their line into column and all this kind of stuff to deal with this feature in the battle. And it's going to delay them. It's going to take time to go around it, redress your line, move forward, engage the enemy, all of this happening under fire, under musket fire, under cannon fire, all this stuff. So these things take time. They don't happen in an instant on the battlefield, especially when we're talking about Napoleonic tactics. That is those tactics where, you know, the men line up, fire amongst one another, and then charge forward. So Brockenbrough gets a bad rap for his performance on July 1st, but his right flank will engage some of the regiments on the Union right flank here in McPherson's Woods. And of course, he's going to engage some of the regiments that are over near the McPherson barn and the McPherson farm. So the 26th North Carolina, Pettigrew's Brigade, they're going to continue to press forward. And the Iron Brigade itself, not just the 24th Michigan, but of course the 19th Indiana, the 7th Wisconsin, the 2nd Wisconsin, the 6th Wisconsin, they're going to be held back in reserve, and they're going to do some awesome stuff in a railroad cut later on during the battle. Or earlier in the battle, but you know, they're held back in reserve at this point. They're dealing with stuff over by the railroad cut north of the Chambersburg Pike. The Iron Brigade is going to put up an incredible stand here on this high ground, but their numbers are going to be pressed and they're going to fall back. They're going to fall back into the woods. They're going to redress their lines. They're going to fight off Pettigrew's Brigade again. But again, those Confederates have these overwhelming numbers. One regiment has nearly 850 men in it. So numbers are not on their side, and the Confederates know that, and they're going to continue to drive these men, and they're going to fall back even further out of the woods, up there headed towards Seminary Ridge, and they're going to put up a defense there. And by that point, the rest of the Union line is crumbling. Oak Ridge and that area is starting to fall. You know, we have pressure on this side of the field that they're starting to fall, and unfortunately it's just not going to be a tenable position. The Confederates are able to concentrate more men in the area in a faster amount of time than the Union is able to, and they're going to fall back through town. The fallback here is going to start with the 19th Indiana on the left flank. They're going to be quickly overwhelmed. They're going to be facing flanking fire because the Union, the regiments to their left have begun to fall back. So they're going to start to get swarmed, and eventually it's just going to fold up this line as they fall back towards Seminary Ridge. Overall, McPherson's Woods here will see some of the most vicious fighting on day one. I feel that during the Battle of Gettysburg, especially those that study it, or those that might just have kind of a passing interest in the battle. Day 2, Little Round Top, Devil's Den, the Peach Orchard, Culp's Hill, and then Day 3, Pickett's Charge, gets all the glory. Day 1 is kind of relegated to a small little cavalry engagement involving some Confederates ending in a Union retreat. But no, day 1 is going to see some absolutely terrible casualties occur. The 26th North Carolina, they're going to start the day with around 850 men. By the end of day 1, their numbers will have dwindled down to about 215. In about a half hour of fighting that occurs here in McPherson's Woods, half hour to an hour's worth of fighting, the 26th North Carolina, they will lose 14 color bearers. Now, to be a color bearer in the Civil War was something that was incredibly coveted by the men. It was something to be incredibly proud about, to wave your state's colors or your nation's colors was something that was an incredible honor. So the men would never want to see that flag touch the ground. So as one color bearer would drop, another man would quickly swoop in. Eventually, Colonel Henry Burgoyne himself of the 26th North Carolina, 21 years old, will grab that flag, and he will wave his men forward and rally his men forward to continue pressing the Union soldiers, giving them such a hard time here in the woods. Continue pressing the Iron Brigade, probably one of the, if not the most elite units in any army on either side of the war. He will grab that flag and rally his men and drive them forward. And unfortunately, Colonel Henry Burgoyne himself will be mortally wounded that day on July 1st. The fighting, however, won't be over for the 26th North Carolina. Day 3, Pickett's Charge, also known as the Pickett-Pettigrew-Trimble Charge. The 26th North Carolina, like I've said before, were members of Pettigrew's Brigade. They will charge forward there, slightly north of the angle, and a Rhode Island battery will fire upon them at point blank range with double canister. It's humbling. Absolutely humbling to think about and imagine the loss that was experienced at the Battle of Gettysburg. The 24th Michigan themselves, they will field 496 men, and of those 496 men, by the end of the Battle of Gettysburg, 399 will be counted as casualties. Casualties being killed, wounded, captured, or missing. They will experience some of the heaviest losses of any Union regiment to take the field here at the Battle of Gettysburg. And just like the 26th North Carolina, their fight won't be over on day one. Day two, they'll be posted up on Culp's Hill, and they'll help to fight back the attack by Allegheny Johnson's division. McPherson's Woods, everyone visits the John Reynolds Monument. Most of the tours stop at the John Reynolds Monument there, the monument marking his wounding and his death. Other tourists might stop at his equestrian statue, or might stop at the Buford statue, or they might stop and see where the first cannon that fired the first shot here at the Battle of Gettysburg is placed into the statue there, marking the fighting of the first day. But not many people actually get out and explore the woods here, where so many men fought and so many men gave everything for the cause that they believed in on both sides. So please, if you visit Gettysburg, I highly, highly recommend you get out of your car and walk these woods, see the land, go down and see where that old quarry is, go down and see Willoughby Run, see where these men fought, experience that. Imagine being in their shoes. It's hot, it's the middle of July, you know, they're covered in wool clothing. They've been marching for the past month straight, these grueling, grueling marches, and finally it is all culminating in this great battle here in this small little Pennsylvania farm town called Gettysburg. That's the true way to experience the Gettysburg National Military Park. Get out of your vehicle, see it for yourself. Look at the maps and then look where you're standing and think about the men that gave their lives. Some of them might have been 20 miles from home. Some of them might have been 200 miles from home. Many of them further from home than that. Well, like I said, this was going to be a two-parter. This is the end of part 2. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, I'm Aaron Smith, your host for Forward Gettysburg. If you like this video, please remember to like it on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that you get notified when more videos are uploaded if you're enjoying the content here. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you on the next one.